everyone.
Hi.
And welcome. Hi. And welcome to Live Bingo presents Streetwise, the poetry of Murray Mednick.
We wanted to start with an early poem. This is from 1963. First chorus. It is the world. It is the world in a red light. There is no quiet on these causeways. There is no rest station on this route. Nobody knows how to turn off the alarm clock. There are frightened beasts gathered in my dream, together in a red light in my dream. But surely the end is coming. I am myself a smaller version of God. There are, I think, other rooms. You can go there if you like. In my dream, the cloud upon which I walk is full of holes, one for every step I take.
I'm always grateful that Beth and I are in Los Angeles because Murray saw our work in San Francisco and invited us down, and we stayed. It's from Willie the Germ, 1968. Prologue. I've had many weird dreams about waterfronts. Circus-type waterfronts with sideshows and freaks, slanting warehouses, tipsy piers, rolling promenades. Waterfronts that are carnivals, blaring on the edge of the sea. There I have a variety of nightmares, and I'm always looking for the end. Somewhere near a bandstand in the sun where the technicolor is real and the black and white shadows disappear like witches into the moon. Without fail, it will be beyond the next mirror or the next, threatening, obliquely like the Mona Lisa, to become three-dimensional. Having found my way there during the hunt, to have happened on this circus waterfront, cringing in the alleys has never been a surprise. It is a repetitive chase played out in my brain, in which only the characters change to protect the guilty. A recurring journey taken at night by the subconscious. In the beginning, I walk before recognizable strangers. The puzzled faces of waking life, those to whom one smiles through one's detachment, those who flicker in the imagination as in shadow plays, staccato marionettes. The world rises ahead and slips away behind, without smell, without touch. I'm waiting for my own soundless footsteps in what appears to be the entrance of a circus. Mirrors are signs leading into or becoming doorways, and doorways becoming corridors, endlessly opening corridors in a gray light. Out there is the wide water without sound, whiteness beloved of poets, upon which are dark boats floating, funeral caskets carrying the deaths of the day's enemies. What may have been is no longer the question. Time resolves it within the urgent sense of the hunted in hunting games, like a schizophrenic clock, the melting tick of the heart, drifting, mirrors sliding through mirrors. A crime has been committed. What crime? I am the sole spectator of my distortions. The sideshows are under my direction. The freaks are in my image. The scene changes, recurs, the interlocking, perpetuality, embracing rings of the circus. There my ancient self, my ringmaster, cracks his whip howls. So, 1974 or 5, we were just talking about all the convergences, but it came together that I knew Murray and that Gene Donarski was building a theater and needed something to go in there. And we decided to do this play. Steve Ruther, who was Sam's acting agent, all of us sort of converged to get this thing done. Are you looking? But the problem was we couldn't find an actor. I mean, we were just we brought people in, a really great gung-ho, and they rehearsed for half an hour and go, this is too hard. They split. Finally, somebody who was also involved with it was David Irving. And David said, I went to college with this guy, Cal Arts. He could do this in a minute. I said, okay. I pray. His name was Ed Harris. And I took him the script, gave it to him at his door going, oh, please want to do this play. Please. And indeed he did. And Murray came down, because it had been just disappointing. We kept not having the right guy. Came down to, and maybe said 3 lines, Ed. And Murray leaned over and said, this fucking guy's a genius. Are you looking? 1973. We all saw it. Okay, this is Mickey. Billions of young, giant stars cooking. We're on the spiral edge, fighting the cold, our small, dying sun. The relations of time and space are intimate. Farther than we can see is the beginning of time. On the other side, the universe expands and contracts. Expands and contracts. Right. Deja vu. Feeling in the heart. Far away on the most distant star. My past is coming to meet me. The sensations of having been this way before. Right here. This. It's gone. It's the sense of fate. A feeling in the heart. Full of consequence. Of time. Passing. Sad. A moment choking with blunders. Wrong things said. Broken promises. Lies. Delusions. Desperate moves. Lunges. Loudness. Drunkenness. Paranoia. If I could just get out there. Get it going fast enough. Beyond the speed of light, burning like the sun, exploding and falling inward, deep, deep, diving downward into the black hole.
Well, you know, I wouldn't be here if he wasn't here. But we go way, way back. And in fact, Padua Hills was almost like my acting school, you know? And in fact it was. And so the old saying goes, you can't beat doing it.
Yeah.
And so that's how it's going to start out with Shouter and Wade, 1990. It seems to me that certain people are harnessing the power of the universe in order to transform it into noise. They are doing it in all ignorance. I saw a program on television, the talking heads had figured out chaos. They could see chaos there on the screen, the very design of chaos. They didn't know anything. They thought they were important. And you could see the dye there that were plugged into the machines, into the sockets, into the walls. That had to do with the heartbeat. with heart attacks. The silent, intimidated anguish of chaos. That is, without sense or order or meaning, no meaning to the dying nor to the lives that had gone before. All the moments to this moment plugged into the wall.
So far, you look went pretty good, and things were rolling along. And Murray came up and said, "I got this place out in Claremont, and we can do I want to do a theater festival there." I'm jumping around a lot, obviously, compressing, and but he also had an idea for an exercise that was from the Don Juan books, and he wanted to play with this exercise. And I brought my buddy Norbert in. Yeah. And it grew into, inevitably, somehow, a coyote play, whatever that was. And the exercise of finding a spot and finding a sound and movement that was in that spot became 7 incredible plays that will live forever. This is from the first one, and this is a poem that Murray had written some years before this, working on he'd written in 1968, and he just inserted it right into this play like it was meant to be there. And it's the following. I was sitting by the waterfall, trying to describe the waterfall. It was the most lovely waterfall. Trying to get a grip on things, describe the waterfall in my notebook on the bridge, only God damn it, I lost my right hand. I have lost my right hand! Trying to describe the waterfall as it goes. My right hand in the current, my hand sucking air, up. How did I get into the water? I was sitting on the bridge with my notebook in my left hand. As it goes into the water, cool and strong, flows past. Where is my right hand? Courses through me. The rocks! Watch out for the rocks, goddammit! But I've got my head up, Watch out for the rocks! My right hand. The water is cold. It's got cold under the bridge. Deep, green, cold, fast. Nobody knows where it goes. How deep, goddammit? My right hand! Has God got my right hand? God got my right hand? Who is God that should have my right hand when I'm alone in the river? Give me my right hand back, God. Give me my right hand back, God. There is no God. There is no right hand. But I need my right hand. My left hand is busy keeping me in the water. How did I get into the water? How could I go into the water without my right hand trying to describe the waterfall? The speed of it. No. That would not be an accurate description of the waterfall. See, the waterfall has no time in it. The waterfall has no time in it. And I must be still. Therefore, I must be still. If I'm still, I will get my right hand back. No, that is not the reason. I must be still. My left hand is busy. Too busy to describe the waterfall. Trying to get a grip on the rock. Grab onto a rock. If I'm still, I will sink. No, that is not the reason. The water is moving me. I am being moved in the water. That is not true either. There's no motion in the water. There is no motion in the water. That would not be an accurate description of the water. To say something about the water with my right, while the left keep beating me up in the water, busy keeping me up in the water. Then the right hand.
This is from Joe and Betty,
Wow.
1999. I dreamed someone was chasing me. I was running between these two buildings, between where Novak and Kantrowitz live over there on the hill. It's icy, it's cold. I see my breaths. And I come to these two dog houses. One has a white dog tied up to it, and the other has a colored guy tied up to it. The white dog is barking at me. He won't let me pass. The white dog and the colored guy are tied up with leashes and a collar. A collar. Each one has a collar. Then the colored guy comes out of his dog house and he says, "Where are you going?" So I says, "I have to go. They're chasing me." Well, he says, you can go then. I'll let you go. Me and the colored people, all my life. Rufus Williams, he's got big muscles. He can lift a ton. Me, I'm strong as an ox, diabetes and all. I got to get up to the booth and splice the film. Come up and see the picture. Barbara Stanwyck is in it, with that other guy, what's his name? We'll practice changing the machines. Remember, the little dot in the upper right-hand corner, we pull the lever, we change machines, we rewind the reel, and we splice. So long.
I was in the play with Leon, and then I was in the car in the summer of 1982 to come down to LA, to Padua, and we took the 5 and went all the way to the other freeway, and then when it ended, we took a left. And we ended up at Padua, and when we got there, and Murray used to say about this, that we were babies. That's the only person who could say that about me. We were babies. And when we got there and we looked around, and the whole summer, I remember saying to Leon, this is our tribe. We didn't plan on staying, but we never left. And this is the first time that I get to be in a play of Murray's. So I'll try not to mess it up. This is from Joe and Betty, 1999. Listen to me, Emile. Listen to your mother. Your father's family is against me, who has suffered and put up with a lot. As you know, I don't have a husband who does right. I don't have a father. My sisters have disowned me. You're all I have. You're all I have, Emile. I never wanted to move here from Brooklyn, where I had a life, but your father insisted and made me do it, and here we are in the freezing cold with nothing. I've lost touch. I've lost contact with my life, which was in Brooklyn, with my mother on DeKalb Avenue, with my Aunt May, my Uncle Bill, and the other people there. But Joey had to be with his mother. Your father had to be near his mother. Why? Because he's retarded and she looks out for him. But he's not retarded like your brother. Your brother Gilbert is brain damaged. He was born that way. Something happened to your father. You can tell he's not bright. It fell on his head. But that's not what's wrong with him. It's not his head. He never read a book in his life. He doesn't know anything but movies. Movies and the truck. Movies and the truck. That's all he knows. At least I read. Once in a while I read a book. You know that. I taught you to read, if you remember. Now I want a TV so I can have some peace and entertainment in my life. We should have what other people have. I fought to get a phone, if you remember. And now you can call your friend can call you. I fought for that. If it wasn't for me, you would have no phone. If it was up to your father, you would have nothing. They don't realize. So they're against me. But at least I have you. I have you, and they can't take you away from me. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Do you understand, Emile? Are you listening to your mother?
Gary Plays. This is Gary's Walk 1998.
Life is strange, and life is strange. I would say so, yes. How there could be goodness and yet horror. Filthy machines, and there's no meaning.
We'll have to reiterate that because that is the issue.
Isn't that the issue?
Yes, it is. I would say yes. So yes.
Whether there is meaning or there isn't any.
Well, what are you going to do? What choice do you have?
No choice. The evil in the smoggy dark, under the dusty trees.
I'll find him and I'll kill him.
Life's catastrophes. Dead bodies in boxes. Dead bodies in bags.
I'll find the killer of my boy and then I'll kill him back.
This man is obviously disturbed. The dead with their mouths open, gaping at endless nothing. Lots of TV, flickering screens, and the cozy lamplit of home, as seen from the street by the homeless. Through living room windows. Through living room windows by the homeless. By a friend here. Name's Gary. Formerly an actor. You left him in the park as night was falling, yelling about a kid.
Kid on a bike.
This is Monica, also from Gary's Walk. I'm standing in the gymnasium looking out. It's a gray June day in Venice. Children are doing exercises. First and second graders. Little girls. They look as frail as paper. My daughter, Laura, smiles at me and waves. So much special love passes between us. We appreciate each other's help in a strange world. I look out the window. Cars are going by silently. The strength of the palm trees seems so poignant. They stand up straight. They hold the ground. I think it's a good thing we can take our kids to school. What a marvelous achievement of man, a civilization with schools. And now, there's terror. I think that's a shame. And I think this moment can never be repeated. We can see, but it is no more than a flicker, no more than a burst of light, a coming to, and then, what? Bye.
This is from the Gary Plays. It's a Charles story, 2008. Agamemnon! A tired old man, blood-stained around his neck as though he had been hung, arrives at his home from the endless sea. He has murdered his daughter by hanging. So there are the rope stains around his own neck, like stigmata. This tells you all you need to know about his life, of which he is sick and sore of heart. He's been wandering on the boundless sea of tide and wind and wave and meaningless rain, rain that's just rain, water lashing the soul of Agamemnon. But the fires are lit. The beacons and signals, all the fires lit for the arrival of old Agamemnon. Fires on land and sea and the sky. Fires for the homecoming of Agamemnon. May the gods save his weary soul. Have care, said the heralds on the shore. Wait there, stop, said the guardians on the city of the cities and towns. Stay where you are, say the soldiers. Find refuge from the storm, say the citizens. Go back. Go away. Come another time. You're not welcome, Agamemnon. Be calm, says the chorus. There is only one outcome. It is already foreseen. He wears a red scar around his neck. He can be seen from heaven or hell. He wears a red scar as though it was he who had been hanged to bring a fair wind. He, and not his beautiful daughter. His beautiful daughter taken to the depths of hell. And for what fair wind? What is the fair wind but the flutter of a ghost, the vanity of a breeze, an illusion of movement? Shut up, says Clytemnestra, and don't philosophize. Keep guard. I have set out a crimson path for the red-stained animal to find his way to my door. Keep watch so that I'm prepared for him. I am the righteous one, as righteous as the golden sun. Look how the path races to the sea like a serpent's tongue. Call Agamemnon. Trap him. Clytemnestra shines with righteousness. The watchmen and the citizens gather at the shore and call to Agamemnon. The chorus pleads once more for pity on the poor Agamemnon. He has lost his soul, they cry, to a fair wind. Have mercy, mercy, mercy for the lost, for the supremely alone. Have mercy. Clytemnestra puts on the golden mask of righteousness and steps away behind the infamous palace door. Agamemnon knows his fate. He will die in a crushing embrace, a strangling golden force encircling and smashing his bones like a python. He steps upon the crimson path, hunched over like a troll, like a gargoyle. I am Agamemnon, he says, who brought war to Troy. Have mercy on me. Agamemnon starts up the crimson path. Agamemnon, who hates frailty and old age and abandonment, and yet I love women. I still love women, thinks Agamemnon as he totters like a crawfish walking sideways up the red road to his death. I still love women. And he thinks of the women he has known and of the pleasures of being with a woman. He thinks of sweet breath and of gasping and sighing, of murmurs and vows and desperate cries, and female bodies, bodies streaming with the life of oceans, of life itself on earth. I have known the women of Argos and the virgin girls of Troy. Even these women here near the palace, I have known many of them in my youth. Hey. When here comes the herald, I knew him as a boy. And here comes the herald, I knew him as a boy. I have come to escort you, father, to the chambers of Clytemnestra. Don't go. Don't go. Prepare, Agamemnon, prepare for the death struggle, for there will be no mercy. Prepare for the dark action of her bed. Look, there she comes now, sire. Look, the palace door opens. And there she stands, the beautiful Clytemnestra. Her face wreathed in a golden light, her breasts exposed, her body clothed in a silken transparent robe. Come, Agamemnon, says Clytemnestra softly. Don't be afraid. Come to the arms of your long-suffering wife. Come closer, my darling. Come closer. A little bit more. Agamemnon, run! Cries the chorus of Argos. But Clytemnestra has grabbed his hands, and the herald has grabbed them around the head, and the scar-stained Agamemnon is pulled and pushed into the chamber of his death.
Yeah.
I was invited to Padua the very first year. I got a call from Murray saying, you do some acting, don't you? And I didn't. And I went anyway, and I never looked back. And I am a part of this tribe, will always be. I'm very grateful. This next rant was experienced verbatim by Murray while getting his teeth cleaned by a dental technician. From Adele, 2015. It's like Kafka, isn't it? It's like Kafka. His accusers were his superiors. The harsh judgment followed by the feeling of shame. I'm intimidated. It's true. I think it's true. I look into myself and I think that's true. On the other hand, I can't believe it. But it seems like it's true. painfully true. I don't want to be that way. Maybe you got a pill, Doc. Why not? I think I'm a lower class person, so I don't have the right to feel equal. You should have a pill for inferiority. I feel inferior. I feel like there's a light on me, like I'm on stage in a performance, and I have to get it right. Actually, I don't know what I was trying to say there. I want to change now, because I'm going to forget. I'm going to forget what I said. What I myself said. Forget what I said. I'm going to forget. I was having panic attacks. I never had them before, maybe until a month ago. Now, I never had them before. There's no trigger. There's no trigger. They happen by themselves for no apparent reason. No apparent reason. Stress. I don't like stress. I never liked stress. I'm alone. I feel alone. Maybe that's a trigger right there. Maybe that's a trigger for the panic attacks. I walk into my apartment. Nobody is there. I'm alone. And I think my life is a failure. My God, I'm alone. And then my blood pressure, it goes up and I start to sweat, a cold sweat. And then my blood pressure goes up and I think I'm gonna have a heart attack. It's like Cinderella and her evil stepmother, only the evil stepmother is in me. And my mother was not, shall we say, nurturing. That's her! I just heard her talking. My original mother. Huge sweats, cold sweats, terror. I got intimidated. They have it harder in China. They have it harder in India. They have it harder than you. All you have to do is obey your mother. They stacked us up like cordwood. And now they're doing it again. Would you have got on those trains? You. I'm asking you. It's a question she was always asking about the trains. The Vatican kept the money of the dead Jews in Europe. Insurance money. They still have it. You know, to the death camps and the Vatican Bank. People are animals. Animals don't do the shit we do. They hunt, they eat. What do you think you're doing? That's her, Doc. And I'm feeling sorry for myself, which I know is a form of looking down on myself. But you go over to the Bronkowskis and you eat over there, and you don't bring anything home for me to eat. Not a bone. Not a piece of meat. Or a glass of milk. A piece of fruit. Your own mother. What's wrong with you? There's something wrong with you. You don't bring home anything for your mother. Look how they treat you. Look how they treat you. Like a nobody. Like a piece of shit. They're like fucking Nazis. And you look how they treat your mother. She thought I was a hot little piece of shit.
This was going to close out the first act, but we're just going to keep rolling. This is, anyone who's done theater knows the unique psychic collapse that comes with writing a bio. So this is Murray's, I think this is Murray's first bio from the play Sand, produced at Theater Genesis in New York City. I'm the best tambourine player in Boo City. That was no easy pile of shit. I make a cobra wiggle its ass and eat a hot dog. America should be run by the chief of the Sioux. Who would know better how you don't scratch, leave it alone? You get your money's worth. Turn everybody loose. Save your napalm for plutonium steam heat. My friends are watching me. Cosmic paranoia drives my car. Since I can remember, there's been a war on. I was an ace mountain rat. I could carry 24 main dishes from the kitchen to the dining room. I quit.
Here are Lark and then Mangus from Mangus the Motherfucker, written in 2022. It was a world in another solar system, and you were a soldier. We were marching, the terrain was a wasteland with ditches and trenches and weird canyons everywhere. We were marching along, knowing we were all going to be destroyed. The people around us, the other soldiers and officer, I couldn't trust them. They might do anything stupidly, insanely, and get us killed. I kept trying to talk to you, to ask you to take me away from that place. And I knew you heard me because I was speaking with your mind. But we couldn't move. We could decide, but we could not move. And then we came to an area that had just been bombed. There were stacks of bodies in neat rows, I mean piles of mangled flesh. And through each pile, there were stuck 4 bombs. I don't know why 4, but 4 bombs like huge, fat arrows. And the stacks of bodies went on and on into the distance, on and on. The most terrible thing was the stench. It was so absolutely vivid. A voice, it was an officer, was saying, well, this is what happens when you get bombed. These are the bombs. They come from the enemy. A soldier reached into a pile and pulled off an arm. And then a heart. I was shouting, Mangus! Mangus! In your voice. I was so desperate I began to come back, to wake up. I was coming away from the smell of death, and I was only free of it when I could no longer actually smell the piles of dead meat with those 4 bombs sticking through them like arrows.
Mangus. I've been walking for a long time in Mexico, Yucatan. Angry that there'd been nowhere to go, no one to visit. When I came to a cafe, pale blue light, darkened street, I was thirsty. I went directly to the counter where there was a lady wearing a red dress, and red shoes, bright red. And she wore red jeweled earrings. And her lips were painted red. There was red shadow around her narrow blue eyes. She looked at me with disdain, shaking her head, shiny black hair almost striking me. I made the gesture of one drinking from a bottle. She nodded, handed me a cold black beer, and smiled. I felt embarrassed by my anger, smiled profusely. She mumbled something, shrugged, walked away. She knew how my eyes were on her hips as she walked, a gaze like hardened electric light, a wire.
This is from Sayer, 2020. Back in the day, people stayed home and they didn't try to come into your house. You'd have to knock. You had to knock first if you had a house. Some of these people had no houses like us. They lived in cars, they lived in tents, they lived in the open. They slept on the ground, they lived in alleys. I'm talking to those of you who may have had houses, okay? In the past, in the good old days, back in the day and so forth. Maybe you don't have a house. Maybe you never had a house back in the day. Maybe you have an apartment. That's all right. It's okay. It's all right to have an apartment. What's wrong with that? Maybe it's not even an apartment. Maybe it's only a room. Maybe you live in a room somewhere. That's what I'm saying. If you live somewhere where there's a door, between you and the world, the dangerous, terrifying world where bad things happen, where people believe in murder and explosives. So if someone wants to visit you, you should knock on your door. They should knock on your door first. If you see someone out there, then there should be a knock on your door before you let them in.
This is from Fool and the Red Queen, 2009. Did you knock, fool? You may not enter my chambers without knocking. Knock first, fool, if you seek admittance, and bow your head, and wear something over your mouth. A handkerchief, a bandana over your mouth so I don't smell your breath, fool, or see you breathe, or see your teeth, or your tongue, or your lips, or even sense your mouth at all. Fool. That evil, sensual mouth. So put something over it. A mask. Cover up your mouth and put a mask on over your face because I don't want to see your eyes. I don't want to see your eyes either. Those longing eyes. I don't want to see those sorry, anguished eyes. So put a mask on over your mouth and over your eyes and grope for the door and knock. Actually, cover your head. Cover your whole head, fool, with a cowl or with a hood. I don't want to see your bowed, defeated head. Actually, go away, fool. Don't bother to knock. I don't want to see you at all. Stay away from my sight, fool.
This is from Switchback, written in 1994, and it was originally done at Padua at Woodbury College. When it was at Woodbury College, it was done outside, and Murray had a plane fly overhead to open the play, and Mark Veit made his entrance dragging a parachute. Sharon Shane, the beautiful Sharon Shane, originally played the character of Rita, who I will be reading. And yeah, and so I just do want to say thank you, Murray. You've made my life, my experience as an artist so much, just so much fun and deeper and richer. And I'm just so grateful, as I'm sure everyone has here already expressed. Okay, so here we go with Switchback, and Rita rocks a baby carriage. You can do what you want, you.
Let's run.
Not we.
Why not?
Not we.
You blame me?
I'm trying.
You blame?
No,
I'm trying.
I know.
Forgive me? When I met Tony, I had tracks all over like the pox. I was hooking for fixes. I got on the program, and I took my pills. He started cracking. Tony. He knew he was gonna die. Virus. No forgiveness. Tony. Just a boy. He cracked. I knew he was gonna die. He fell down. I was panicked. I wanted to go into hospital. I want to be alone. Me. Nobody dying. Me alone. Tony cracked. He fell down. Me? He made friends with death, Tony. We had a good life. We had a family, we had a future. He made friends with death. Say?
I forgive you.
Say?
I forgive you.
Say?
I forgive you.
This is from Whatever Happened to Julie Christie, 2022, Tyrone. Jethro thinks about his situation. It's kind of like mourning for all our losses, disappointments and failures, the lack of love in his life, disillusionment, ego fantasies, real talent realized too late. The psychological damage, like growing up under a lid instead of a sky. You will lose, you will fail, that's the way it is, beneath the words, beneath the ideas or the pictures and all the rest of the bullshit solutions, including women and drugs and therapies and constant American pathetic stupidities of which we are all an inevitable tiny part. I never sold out, he would say, though he tried. I never joined the fucking army and I refused to speak. I protested, protected my talent. I worked hard, not hard enough. I did my best for the science of politics and the social good. Now it's all lost to degenerate animals. What good did I do?
You want to die deaf and dumb in this horrible place?
Nah. They took me for a blood test the other day. The girl behind the counter was speaking her thoughts out loud. She wasn't discerning what she was saying or not saying. Just talking. And then a little Mexican guy wearing red shorts comes in and starts cussing about a fax. He's got welts and boils on his legs. He's cursing in broken English and nobody reacts. Not the girls or the nurses or the people waiting for their blood tests, like they're waiting for their fixes. Quiet, patient, motionless. This is all going on and nobody looks at anybody else. Nobody seems to know anything about themselves. They were taking care of their bodies and that's all they knew. And even that, they weren't sure. Because the body changes. It gets sick and breaks. And then they're buried in the ground. They were bewildered.
But the guy in the red shorts, seeing that nobody was paying attention to him, starts yelling into his phone.
Trust
is from The Watchers, 2022. I came out of my house. I came to the door. I was aware of myself coming through the door. This is me coming through the door. I could feel the fresh air. I was glad for a moment. I thought I heard someone calling. It was twilight, my favorite time of day. Birds were singing. I took a deep breath. Yes, I didn't know what I was doing that. I was looking through my own eyes, but they were my own eyes themselves, enjoying the light. My own eyes, sounds, cattle and horses screaming, dogs, my own ears. I had a voice. Something landed next to me. It turned out to be you.
We suffer for all eternity. It's like this. See, I'm standing here, and there's a beautiful woman. She's standing right next to me, like this. I watch her mouth. I want to taste her. I want to embrace her. And she knows. She knows I'm here, and I'm near. I want to touch her. I touch her. So smooth, so soft, but forbidden. It is forbidden. Why? Timing. Bad timing. And I'm being watched. Who is watching me? Another angel, higher than me. I see this entity out of the corner of my eye. Terrible struggle ensues. I want to talk to this woman. I want to grab this woman. But I'm not allowed. A higher entity is watching. I lose all my power, all my substance, all my excitement, and all my happiness, because I'm an angel. I must obey and return.
This is my last time up here, so I just want to thank Murray for the guiding principle of Padua, which was that he invited the writer, not what they wrote. They could write whatever they wanted to. He invited the writer to come and play in the summer, and he never disinvited anybody. And I just think it's such an important, and I mean, it's such a big heart for writers to know that they're, that they'll be loved regardless. This is from the Gary Plays, Girl on a Bed, 1998. And you can hear waves, waves in the dark, waves of dark, and the moon is luminous, and the sky is vibrant with many bright stars, and drums and flutes are playing somewhere in the distance. An Indian sound, an approaching music, the sound of America, of indigenous America, cruel and pure and powerful, absolute, with a light surpassing the light of the sun.
It's a different point of view. Thank you, everybody. just, I don't know what to say or do, but I did write a poem today, and I didn't have time to type it up or anything, or write it down, but I thought I would try tonight to say the poem from memory, which means I'll be winging it a little bit. Anyway, it goes like this. I was in the city of Paris in search of a blessing from a holy man. And I was told that he would be on the river, on the Seine, and that I would know him when I saw him. So I was living in a hotel near the Louvre, and down the hill was the old Jewish quarter, and I stopped there to pay my respects. And then I went down to the river and walked the Seine. I walked for a long time. I walked from one end of the city to the other. And then finally, fatigued, I sat down. And I lost hope almost when I saw a figure standing by the river. It was the way he was standing, his presence and his sense of his own living ancestry was in him. And so he turned around, and I turned, and I started walking toward him, and we were approaching each other. I held out my hand, and he walked right by me. So I was standing there with my hand out like this. And I didn't give up. And something in me raced after him, and I got in front of him, and I said, "Please, Master, give me your blessing. I have faith. I have faith in the ancestry, and in the laws and the traditions of our people." And he looked at me for a while, not unkindly. He said, "You have no faith. All you want is to be told that you're intelligent and handsome and talented." And then he turned slightly, walked away, and I was standing there by myself. I felt shame all the way to my feet. I think I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.